A poor boy comes running and says to a girl, "You were throwing these plastic bottles in the trash anyway. Please give them to me. They'll be useful for my work." Hearing this, the girl politely says, "All right, I'll give you these bottles, but don't misuse them. If you do, I'll take action against you." Saying this, she hands over the bottles to the poor boy. The boy thanks her and leaves. The girl then says to herself, "I wonder what that boy will do with those bottles," and she too walks away. After a while, another man comes there and starts throwing some bottles into the trash can. Suddenly, a poor little girl comes running and stops him, saying, "You were throwing these bottles away anyway. Please give them to me. They're useful for my work." Surprised, the man asks her, "What will you do with these bottles?" But the poor girl doesn't tell him. She just repeats, "Please give them to me. They'll help me." The man says, "All right, I'll give them to you, but if you misuse them, I'll take strict action against you." He hands her the bottles. The girl thanks him and leaves. The man, puzzled, says to himself, "What could that poor girl possibly be doing with those bottles? I should find out, in case she misuses them." So he decides to follow her to see where she goes. Meanwhile, the poor boy who took the bottles from the girl runs home to his sick father and says, "Father, look, I brought these bottles." At the same time, the man continues following the poor girl and sees her running straight toward her father, who is sitting on a bench in a park waiting for her. It turns out that the boy and girl are siblings. They've been collecting bottles to make shoes for themselves because they don't even have shoes to wear. The man who followed the girl stands there, watching everything. Seeing their poverty and helplessness, his heart fills with emotion. He says to himself, "So that's what they were doing. They just wanted to make shoes for themselves out of these bottles." Meanwhile, the poor girl says to her father, "You were so worried about our shoes. Look, we've made our own now." Hearing this, their poor father smiles and says, "I'm so lucky that God blessed me with such kind and obedient children." Just then, two arrogant girls walk by and start mocking them. One of them says scornfully, "If it were up to me, I wouldn't even let poor people like them live on this earth." The man who had followed the girl sees all this from a distance. The poor father says to the arrogant girls, "Yes, we're poor, but we're still human, just like you. Please don't think so low of us." Hearing and seeing all, the man feels deep compassion. He decides to help the poor father and his children and leaves for a while. Meanwhile, the arrogant girls start threatening the poor man, telling him to leave the place. But soon, the kind man returns, bringing clothes and shoes for the poor family. Emotionally, he says, "I'm sorry I'm a little late, but now I understand. Helping and showing mercy to the poor and helpless is one of the most loved acts in the eyes of God." The poor man and his children joyfully accept the clothes and shoes. Then, the kind man turns to the arrogant girls and says, "You both should be ashamed of how you treated these poor people. It's better for you to leave right now, or I'll call the police." Hearing the word police, the arrogant girls, embarrassed, walk away. The poor man thanks the kind stranger for his help. Truly, it said, "Show mercy to those on earth, and the one in the heavens will show mercy to you." If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share the video.